Peafowl is a common name for three bird species in the genera Pavo and Afropavo within the tribe Pavonini of the family Phasianidae, the pheasants and their allies. Male peafowl are referred to as peacocks, and female peafowl are referred to as peahens, even though peafowl of either sex are often referred to colloquially as peacocks. The two Asiatic species are the blue or Indian peafowl originally of the Indian subcontinent, and the green peafowl of Southeast Asia. The one African species is the Congo peafowl, native only to the Congo basin. Male peafowl are known for their piercing calls and their extravagant plumage. The latter is especially prominent in the Asiatic species, which have an eye-spotted tail, or train, of covert feathers, which they display as part of a courtship ritual. The functions of the elaborate iridescent coloration and large train of peacocks have been the subject of extensive scientific debate. Charles Darwin suggested that they served to attract females, and the showy features of the males had evolved by sexual selection. More recently, Amatz Zahavi proposed in his handicap theory that these features acted as honest signals of the male's fitness, since less fit males would be disadvantaged by the difficulty of surviving with such large and conspicuous structures. The peafowl is native to India and significant in its culture. In Hinduism, the Indian peacock is the mount of the god of war, Lord Kartikeya, and the warrior goddess Kaumari, and is also depicted around the goddess Santoshi. During a war with Asuras, Kartikeya split the demon king Surapadman in half. Out of respect for his adversary's prowess in battle, the god converted the two halves into an integral part of himself. One half became a peacock serving as his mount, and the other a rooster adorning his flag. The peacock displays the divine shape of Omkara when it spreads its magnificent plumes into a full-blown circular form. Peacock feathers also adorn the crest of Lord Krishna, an avatar of Lord Vishnu, one of the Trimurti. Chandragupta Maurya, the founder of the Mauryan Empire, was born an orphan and raised by a family farming peacocks. According to the Buddhist tradition, the ancestors of the Maurya kings had settled in a region where peacocks, Maura in Pali, were abundant. Therefore, they came to be known as Mauryas, literally, belonging to the place of peacocks. According to another Buddhist account, these ancestors built a city called Maurya Nagara, Maurya city, which was so called because it was built with the bricks colored like peacocks' necks. After conquering the Nanda Empire and defeating the Seleucid Empire, the Chandragupta dynasty reigned uncontested during its time. Its royal emblem remained the peacock until Emperor Ashoka changed it to a lion, as seen in the lion capital of Ashoka, as well in his edicts. The peacock continued to represent elegance and royalty in India during medieval times. For instance, the Mughal seat of power was called the Peacock Throne. The peacock is represented in both the Burmese and Sinhalese zodiacs. To the Sinhalese people, the peacock is the third animal of the zodiac of Sri Lanka. Peacocks, often a symbol of pride and vanity, were believed to deliberately consume poisonous substances in order to become immune to them, as well as to make the colors of their resplendent plumage all the more vibrant. Seeing as so many poisonous flora and fauna are so colorful due to aposematism, this idea appears to have merit. The Buddhist deity Mahamayuri is depicted seated on a peacock. Peacocks are seen supporting the throne of Amitabha, the ruby-red sunset-colored archetypal Buddha of infinite light. India adopted the peacock as its national bird in 1963 and it is one of the national symbols of India. In Persia and Babylonia, the peacock is seen as a guardian of royalty and is often engraved upon royal thrones. Ancient Greeks believed that the flesh of peafowl did not decay after death, so it became a symbol of immortality. In Hellenistic imagery, the Greek goddess Hera's chariot was pulled by peacocks, birds not known to Greeks before the conquests of Alexander. Alexander's tutor, Aristotle, refers to it as the Persian bird. When Alexander saw the birds in India, he was so amazed at their beauty that he threatened the severest penalties for any man who slew one. Claudius Aelianus writes that there were peacocks in India, larger than anywhere else. One myth states that Hera's servant, the hundred-eyed Argus Panoptes, was instructed to guard the woman-turned-cow, Io. Hera had transformed Io into a cow after learning of Zeus's interest in her. Zeus had the messenger of the gods, Hermes, kill Argus through eternal sleep and free Io. According to Ovid, to commemorate her faithful watchman, Hera had the 100 eyes of Argus preserved forever, in the peacock's tail. The symbolism was adopted by early Christianity, thus many early Christian paintings and mosaics show the peacock. The peacock is still used in the Easter season, especially in the East. The eyes in the peacock's tail feathers symbolize the all-seeing Christian God and, in some interpretations, the Church. A peacock drinking from a vase is used as a symbol of a Christian believer drinking from the waters of eternal life. The peacock can also symbolize the cosmos if one interprets its tail with its many eyes as the vault of heaven dotted by the sun, moon, and stars. By Christian adoption of Old Persian and Babylonian symbolism, in which the peacock was associated with paradise and the tree of life, the bird is again associated with immortality. In Christian iconography, the peacock is often depicted next to the tree of life. Among Ashkenazi Jews, the golden peacock is a symbol for joy and creativity, with quills from the bird's feathers being a metaphor for a writer's inspiration. The peacock motif was revived in the Renaissance iconography that unified Hera and Juno, and on which European painters focused. In 1956, John J. Graham created an abstraction of an 11-feathered peacock logo for American broadcaster NBC. This brightly hued peacock was adopted due to the increase in color programming. NBC's first color broadcasts showed only a still frame of the colorful peacock. The emblem made its first on-air appearance on the 22nd of May 1956. The current, 6-feathered logo debuted on the 12th of May 1986. The Indian peacock has iridescent blue and green plumage, mostly metallic blue and green, but the green peacock has green and bronze body feathers. In both species, females are a little smaller than males in terms of weight and wingspan, but males are significantly longer due to the tail, also known as a train. The peacock train consists not of tail quill feathers, but highly elongated upper tail covers. These feathers are marked with eye spots, best seen when a peacock fans his tail. Both sexes of all species have a crest atop the head. The Indian peahen has a mixture of dull gray, brown, and green in her plumage. The female also displays her plumage to ward off female competition or signal danger to her young. Green peafowl differ from Indian peafowl in that the male has green and gold plumage and black wings with a sheen of blue. Unlike Indian peafowl, the green peahen is similar to the male, but has shorter upper tail covers, a more coppery neck, and overall less iridescence. The Congo peacock male does not display his covert feathers, but uses his actual tail feathers during courtship displays. These feathers are much shorter than those of the Indian and green species, and the ocelli are much less pronounced. Females of the Indian and African species are dull gray and/or brown. Chicks of both sexes in all the species are cryptically colored. They vary between yellow and tawny, usually with patches of darker brown or light tan and dirty white, ivory. Mature peahens have been recorded as suddenly growing typically male peacock plumage and making male calls. While initially gynandromorphism was suspected, researchers have suggested that changes in mature birds are due to a lack of estrogen from old or damaged ovaries, and that male plumage and calls are the default unless hormonally suppressed. Hybrids between Indian peafowl and green peafowl are called Spaldings, after the first person to successfully hybridize them, Mrs. Keith Spalding. Unlike many hybrids, Spaldings are fertile and generally benefit from hybrid vigor. Spaldings with a high green phenotype do much better in cold temperatures than the cold-intolerant green peafowl while still looking like their green parents. Plumage varies between individual Spaldings, with some looking far more like green peafowl and some looking far more like blue peafowl, though most visually carry traits of both. In addition to the wild type, blue, coloration, several hundred variations in color and pattern are recognized as separate morphs of the Indian blue among peafowl breeders. Pattern variations include solid wing, black shoulder, the black and brown stripes on the wing are instead one solid color pied, white eye, the ocelli in a male's eye feathers have white spots instead of black, and silver pied, a mostly white bird with small patches of color. Color variations include white, purple, Buford bronze, opal, midnight, charcoal, jade, and taupe, as well as the sex-linked colors purple, cameo, peach, and Sonia's violetta. Additional color and pattern variations are first approved by the United Peafowl Association to become officially recognized as a morph among breeders. Alternately colored peafowl are born differently colored than wild-type peafowl, and though each color is recognizable at hatch, their peachic plumage does not necessarily match their adult plumage. Occasionally, peafowl appear with white plumage. Although albino peafowl do exist, this is quite rare, and almost all white peafowl are not albinos. They have a genetic condition called Leucism, which causes pigment cells to fail to migrate from the neural crest during development. Leucistic peafowl can produce pigment but not deposit the pigment to their feathers, resulting in their blue-gray eye color and the complete lack of coloration in their plumage. Pied peafowl are affected by partial leucism, where only some pigment cells fail to migrate, resulting in birds that have color but also have patches absent of all color. They, too, have blue-gray eyes. By contrast, true albino peafowl would have a complete lack of melanin, resulting in irises that look red or pink. Leucistic peachicks are born yellow and become fully white as they mature.